So the beta for Battlefield 6 is now over, and I played quite a lot of it, and I have to say it's pretty good. However, it's missing something. A few things, really. And at this point, from everything I've heard about the game, and possibly have seen from leaks, I'm pretty sure that these things that are missing are going to stay missing in the final game, at least at launch. The first and most obvious thing is a server browser. This is the classic way of finding matches in Battlefield. The way matches are found in the beta is that a brand new server is found for each match, like Call of Duty also does now, and it sucks. Not only does it remove the fun of playing with the same people, but it often puts you into matches that have already started, and matches on the same map over and over again, or in Breakthrough and Rush on the same side over and over again. With a server browser, you can see what maps are in rotation, so you know if you're going to be playing the same map over and over again, and the official servers rotate through every map, changing every match or two, depending on the mode. Typically. But here, you have no clue what map you're getting next, and it's often Empire State 4 times in a row. I think the server browser is a must-have for Battlefield, and I know people won't stop complaining until it returns, and good. They shouldn't. The server browser was way better. The next thing missing is vehicle loadouts. Sure, they could still be in the full game, but I kinda doubt it. None of the other betas were missing this from what I remember, and I've played all of the Battlefield betas. Vehicle loadouts are important though. They create progression and variety with vehicles. And without it, the vehicles get really stale. Even in the beta, which didn't last that long really, there were several times where no one was using the vehicles available to them. The tanks or jets were just sitting there. And again, this was just in the beta. People were bored of them already. And it's just not Battlefield without vehicles in my opinion. My only exception to that, as a certified Operation Locker hater, is Operation Metro with 24 or 32 players. 64 players on Metro is just grenade spam and luck, but 32 or less players is alright on occasion. Even Squad Deathmatch used to have an IFV to keep things interesting. Not anymore, by the way, so RIP to that mode. But if vehicles aren't interesting, they may as well not be there. And that's another thing. There is a massive lack of vehicles. I get that 3 out of the 4 maps were urban maps, and those are typically pretty limited in their vehicles, but Liberation Peak was an open map and still very limited. On Conquest, you had like 1 IFV, 1 tank, 1 attack helicopter, and 1 jet, and then a mobile anti-air that you can get at Objective D. That's basically nothing compared to most maps in Battlefield 4. There were 9 vehicle classes in Battlefield 4, and most maps had at least 1 vehicle of each on Conquest. That's not to mention vehicles that didn't have loadouts like transport boats, APCs, quad bikes, and more. I'm not even a big vehicle user, and this is super disappointing to me. Rush was particularly disappointing with vehicles only on Liberation Peak. Rush gets more and more neglected each release, I feel like. New players will never understand how good it was in the Bad Company games and Battlefield 3. Rush was an actual competitor to Conquest. Then, many of the animations are basically missing. I mean, they're technically there, but they're near instant. Everything from laying down to throwing a grenade happens more or less as soon as you press the button, which I'm sure some people will love, but I think it's a big reason why some people are saying it doesn't feel like Battlefield. I was just playing Battlefield 4 the other day, and even crouching feel like it took forever in comparison. And I think that fits a game like Battlefield. It prevents people from spamming buttons to get a cheap edge on enemies, which just isn't Battlefield in my opinion. At the moment, crouching almost looks like people teleporting down a foot or so. It's annoying to miss shots because someone is moving faster than physically possible. Next, the game is effectively missing squad leaders. The objective you're told to push or defend is done automatically now, and the squad leader can change the order, but I rarely saw this done because, I don't know, why would you, I guess? And as far as I could tell, that's all squad leaders could do, and most people just followed the AI orders, even though they often led to the cat and mouse issue where each team has a mob running from objective to objective, but not into each other. So yeah, the point is, the beta is fun, so I'm sure the full game will be fun, but I don't think it's shaping up to be as great as it easily could be. It feels a bit unfinished, again. Not nearly to the extent 2042 was unfinished, since, you know, that game is just now getting to the point where it's worth playing at all, but it still feels unfinished. This game is supposed to be a successor to previous Battlefield games, especially 3 and 4, so why is it lacking in these areas that previous games excelled in? And that's not all. Beyond missing some things, there's some other issues with the beta that keep it from being as great as previous Battlefield titles. The easiest to fix is the balancing. The shotgun is a tiny bit overpowered, not as overpowered as many people are saying, but overpowered enough that I definitely got a handful of kills that I absolutely did not deserve. You know, a single shot could do up to 200 damage, meaning you only have to hit with half the pellets to get a kill up close, which is pretty silly. Then, low recoil and high fire rate guns are pretty much better than anything else at the moment, and I think it might be because of hit detection issues. Guns can absolutely melt people in an instant, but you rarely see it. The gun bloom is also weirdly high on some guns, especially LMGs, making them far weaker than they should be. I'm okay with a bit of bloom to limit guns' effective ranges without, you know, just having a damage drop off. But it's overdone on some guns that should have pretty long effective ranges, like LMGs. That said, I found out that the bloom issue might be partially because of a bug, so I think it's important to note that, and that it's not supposed to be so high all of the time, but I still think the max bloom should be a bit lower because it made things completely luck-based after maybe 50 meters, which isn't far at all, unless you're shooting in burst, which, I don't know, I don't think LMGs really should need to shoot in burst, personally. Kind of defeats the whole purpose of them, actually. And speaking of LMGs, bipods and mounting as a whole seemed pretty useless. In like every other Battlefield game, they used to make guns a laser beam at the cost of not being able to move. And since that makes you an easy target, it was a pretty fair trade-off. Also, the balance on rush and breakthrough were horrible, with defenders winning nearly every match I played, and other little things like that that can and hopefully will be changed pretty quickly. However, one issue that might not get fixed as easily is class balance. The way the assault class is set up in this game is just selfish, which sucks in such a team-oriented game. Their whole class is built around a stem that gives some pretty mild and short-lived buffs to you and only you. Assault used to be the medic class, so this is quite a fall from grace. Instead, support is now the medic. They give out ammo and have the defibrillators. That's just overpowered, especially given how quickly you burn through ammo in this game, and obviously how important revives are. Each class helps the rest of your squad and team, except for Assault. Recon spots and deploys spawn beacons, Engineer repairs and has anti-vehicle tools like rocket launchers and mines, and Support provides ammo and suppresses the enemy, and now revives them as well. Meanwhile, Assault has a grenade launcher. Oh, they can also carry a second primary. That totally helps the team. The person who revives and the person who gives out ammo were always kept separate in previous games for a reason. Those two things are just invaluable, and combining them makes them insanely strong. Pair that with the fact that carbines are one of the weapons available to all classes, even in weapon lock playlists, and there's really no reason to play Assault. The carbines are sort of just better assault rifles right now, with the exception of one decent assault rifle. Which, small rant, but Battlefield 3 had it right. Shotguns and SMGs being the two types of guns available to all classes made the most sense because they're very situational with their short range. Carbines are not situational, they're just good. Pretty much anywhere, any map, use a carbine, especially in Battlefield 6. Then you could argue that DMRs are also situational, so maybe allow them as well, but personally, I think DMRs fit better as recon-locked weapons, in my opinion. I mean, they kind of run out of ways to differentiate the sniper rifles anyways, so I think combining DMRs with sniper rifles makes a lot of sense. There's also some minor issues like it not being clear what is and isn't destructible, since the material that is destructible isn't unique looking in any way. You know, there's also occasionally inconsistent hit detection. You know, things that were also minor problems in other Battlefield games too are pretty unsurprisingly problems here as well. Anyways, despite all that, I had a lot of fun playing the beta, and I do plan on getting the full game. Hopefully some of these things are fixed or added, but if not, it's still a decently fun game. But what do you think? Did you enjoy the beta? Do you have any complaints about it? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more from me, subscribe. But that's it for today, so yeah, see ya.
Operation Locker Hater.